her way. Hi, my name is Piu Piuang. I am 28 years old and I used to be a student at Yangon University. This is me with my father. In Myanmar, students are not allowed to study what they want to study. Ethnic minority students are not allowed to learn about their culture, literature, and history at school. That is why me and some of my friends from the student union went to protest in the streets. We want to be able to choose what we study. Shortly after, I got a letter that I would not be allowed to complete my studies. I was in my last year and I was very upset. The government tried to scare me away from my activism, but I was not going to stop. In February 2015, we organized a peaceful protest in many places to have the government listen to us. Hundreds of students from different universities across the country joined the protest. However, the police started beating some of the protesters. Again, they wanted to scare us. A month later, we were all arrested for our leadership in the protests. I was sentenced to 9 years in prison. I am no stranger to prisons, but it makes me feel heavy. I often think of Aung San Suu Kyi to help me feel lighter. She spent much of her life under house arrest. My name is Aung San Suu Kyi. I am the little girl in the middle at the bottom of the picture. I was born in 1945 in Rangoon, Burma. The man on the left of the picture is my father. He led the country to independence, but he had many enemies. They shot him when I was only 2 years old. I grew up in Burma in India. When I was a young woman, I went to Oxford University to study philosophy, politics, and economics. There, I fell in love with a man named Michael Aris. We married and we had 2 sons. I had been living in the UK for almost 20 years. But one day in 1988, I got a call from my mother. So I returned to Burma to help my mom recover from her illness. Unfortunately, she died. During my trip, I found out that the Burmese military government was treating its people very poorly. I also found out about the NLD, a party that opposed the military government. NLD stands for National League for Democracy. I joined them and I gave a speech at Shwedagon Pagoda. In 1990, the NLD won the election, but the military overturned the results. Many of my friends and party members were arrested and put into prison. Me too, I was put in prison at first, and then under house arrest. During my house arrest, I sometimes gave speeches over the fence of my house. I was under house arrest 15 out of 21 years. For most of that time, I was not allowed to see my family. Reading all the letters people sent from all over the world helped me continue my work fighting for democracy in Burma. Many people know me because I won the Nobel Peace Prize. I got it in 1991 because I was trying to achieve democracy and to guarantee human rights through peaceful means. Since I was still under house arrest at the time, my 2 sons went to accept the Nobel Peace Prize for me. I got many more awards. Most of them gave me money too. I put the money in my educational fund. In particular, I was supporting the education of the children of political prisoners. I have also worked with HIV/AIDS patients. People of all ages held protests for me over the years in many different places. In Myanmar, people continued their human rights work in secret. Monasteries and churches became their gathering places. Many of them were young, and they often used art for their protests. Slowly, the government realized that it had to give up some of its power, so they released me in November 2010. Since my last release in November 2010, I have met my younger son, Kim, for the first time in 20 years. My party, the NLD, won 48 seats in the 2012 by-elections. Since then, I have been able to work as a member of parliament. Whenever I travel to the many ethnic areas, I make sure to wear the local costume and talk to the people. We campaign to win the general elections. In November 2015, the NLD won the general elections with a landslide victory. The victory of the NLD is the victory of the people of Myanmar. Now, the next step is to work hard by joining hands with everybody to develop our country and to build a just and peaceful society, not only for the people of Myanmar, but for all of humankind.